Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Sack here. Today is November 3rd, 2015. In the NFL, the National Football League, there is the firing of the first NFL coach this season. What I want to show here is how he was fired by the numbers. What I am trying to wake the world up to is the fact that pro sports are completely rigged, and they are rigged by a numerological code. The reason this is because all the professional sports leagues are run by Freemasons and Zionists who use these numbers as a way of systematic programming for not only sports but also news media and a whole lot more. It's almost like a religious practice. If you are a skeptic of my work, I understand why this might sound crazy, but if you follow it, you see that there's no doubt it is true. The 111th World Series just wrapped up with the closing sequence. Matt Harvey going for the complete game shutout on his 111th pitch on the date of 11/1 November 1st in the 111th World Series had his ball hit driving in the first run of the game against the Mets by Eric Hosmer, who was the ongoing star for the Kansas City Royals. Before spring training, or before the baseball season began in spring training, I predicted that the Mets would be in the World Series and win it because it was the 111th World Series and New York equals 111, and I have known for 2 years now that pro sports are rigged by numbers. Anyhow, my prediction obviously wasn't all the way correct. Why I am doing this research is to wake people, but also get help, because I know with more minds working on this, more people paying attention to the patterns, the codes can be cracked, and these sports leagues can be completely foretold before they even begin. I have no doubt they operate by the numbers. You shouldn't either if you follow my work and you listen, you pay attention, and you think with an open mind. The coach who was fired today, Ken Whisenhunt, his birth name is Kenneth Moore Whisenhunt. In Gematria, this name sums to 113. He's fired on November 3rd, 113, a lot like his name. This number 122 with the S exception is also very important in sports right now. We've seen it a lot in coding for the upcoming Super Bowl in San Francisco, which has Gematria of 122. This number is important to the region. The Golden State Warriors won the NBA Finals. Golden State and San Francisco both have that gematria of 122. Very important number this year in sports and more. The Masons code a lot of these numbers for God. The word Elohim in Jewish gematria sums to 122. So 122, a number connected to God. Today that number is not so favorable for Ken Whisenhunt. This Sunday on November 1st, remember New York equals 111, both the New York football teams lost. What's interesting is the Jets and Raiders game summed to 54 like the word baseball. I thought this might be negative foreshadowing for the Mets. It turned out to be. Can't help but notice the starting quarterbacks passing yards 333, rushing yards 113. Sometimes I really wonder how scripted these games are. What I want you to understand here, though, is what I call falling on your number. When numbers correspond with the date in athletic matchups, it seems that so often the people who have the numbers lose. Anyhow, this falling on your number thing, last night, check this out. Monday Night Football, Colts visiting Carolina Panthers. Andrew Luck in Gematria sums to 112. He lost on November 2nd in a heartbreaker. It went to overtime 26-26. Andrew Luck's currently 26 years old. And here's one more truth seeker. Andrew Luck had 47 passing attempts on the game. The name Luck in simple English gematria sums to 47. Last year on date numerology of 47, the December 21st game against the Cowboys, Luck had an awful game. Another date that connected to his name. He fell on his number. That's what I call it. Notice his equivalent yards or his net yards of 223. That's another very special number. It is the Freemasons who control football. Masonic in Jewish gematria sums to 223. Been talking a lot about this number. Flip Saunders had a February 23rd birthday on the first game of the Timberwolves season who Flip Saunders coached. The Timberwolves and Lakers combined for 223 points. Remember, the Lakers originally come from Minnesota. Pay attention to these numbers, they don't lie. Last night, all game, I noticed that the camera was on number 59. They just kept going to him. At the end of the game, before overtime began, he had a chance to intercept the ball and end the game. Anyhow, he didn't make that play, but he was still treated as the hero at the end. The game was on November 2nd, the day that leaves 59 days left in the year. He wears the number 59. I think this guy was the staged hero by the numbers. On Sunday night, before the game began, somebody wrote this to me. Zach, I think the Packers going to throw the game against the Broncos. Tomorrow the money line for Broncos is 133. I'm seeing the 33 in that number, and it is an odd number. Never seen that. I think it's a heads up to take the Broncos. People who follow my work are learning. This person had the right hunch. What it made me look up when he told me this is to see if there was any relevance in this number between the two teams. So I looked at the Super Bowl they met in 1997. And the Packers had a 13-3 record that year. They would lose the Super Bowl 31-24. I thought, yeah, he's probably right. They're probably going to lose the game. This is probably a foreshadowing. The last time they had this number on the game they lost, he was right. But here's what else happened that game, Truth Seeker. Peyton Manning tied Brett Favre's record for most wins. Brett Favre is known for playing for the Packers. Peyton Manning ties his record against the Packers. Also, here's something people don't know about Brett Favre. He was the 33rd overall pick the year he was drafted. He was drafted by the Falcons in Georgia, traded to the Packers. Wisconsin and Georgia are the only two states with 44 gematria. The G on the Packers helmet has to do with both the numbers 33 and 44. It represents 33 in Francis Bacon form of gematria, and it represents 44 in terms of the word grand, which has a gematria of 44, an important number to the Masons. So everything about Brett Favre's career was by the numbers, this tribute's by the numbers, and the score of this game where Peyton Manning tied Favre's record is a complete joke. Let me show you why, Truth Seeker. Also, before I get to that, just notice 186, same gematria as landmark. This is a landmark game for Peyton Manning, and I think it foreshadows that the Super Bowl will be Broncos-Packers. I think we're going to see a repeat. Anyhow, the final score of the game was 29-10, a sum of 39 points. Peyton Manning won, who's 39 years old, very special number to the Zionists. Sunday Night Football, the acronym sums to 39. This was the Sunday Night Football game. All these 39 tributes. If you're not aware, the man who created Sunday Night and Monday Night Football is named Howard Roselle. The name Howard having gematria of 33, Roselle 39. The first ever Monday Night Football game was September 28th, 1964, a date with 39 numerology. Monday Night Football has the acronym 33. This is how the Masons operate. They do everything by the numbers. They code their numbers over and over. Apparently, they thought nobody would ever break their code. That's what I'm bringing to the world. New knowledge hidden from us in plain sight. Peyton Manning scored 29 points in this game. His initials are 29. Some things could be a coincidence. He had 29 attempts on the game for the 29 points going with his initials. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers had his lowest yardage performance in the NFL was 77 yards. Green Bay equals 77. You talk about tributes by the numbers. He took the final safety for the 39th points of the game at 12-21. Oh, goodness. What happens when you add those numbers together? Let me transition into why Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are the stars of the NFL. It's not because they're elite talent. It's because it's a staged league with talented players, and some are made to look better and some are made to look worse. Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are made into superstars because of when they are born. Yes, when they are born. So many people in this world are chosen because of when they are born, because this is what the Masons and the Zionists operate by. Notice that Peyton Manning is born on March 24th. This is the 83rd day of the year. Tom Brady is born on August 3rd, 8/3, a lot like 83, like Manning's 83rd day of the year. The word football has gematria of 83. Of course, other people in the world are born on March 24th. Of course, other people are born August 3rd. But these guys are in the right families, at the right place, at the right time, with the right level of talent. They get to be made into the stars they are. I have seen it since I was a kid how rigged pro sports are. It embarrasses me. Other men can't see it. Other people can't see it. There's nothing that looks realistic about NFL football games. The touchdowns are staged, and often the turnovers are as well. Alex Smith, 49er QB, had 1 touchdown, 11 interceptions his rookie season. The name Alex Smith equals 111. Number 1 pick in the NFL draft. All part of staged hoaxes by the numbers. The people who run these leagues, who run the media, they want to infuriate people, and that's what pro sports mostly do. There's only one group of fans who are happy by the end of the season. Anyhow, check this out, Truth Seeker. Peyton Manning, born March 24th, 1976. Date with 32 numerology. NFL equals 32. Show you this. NFL equals 32 in simple English gematria, 66 in Jewish gematria. The first ever Super Bowl was in the 66th season. Show you something else. In the World Series, the Royals just won 4-1. ESPN's headline after winning was it was time to crown the Royals, which should make you think of the king. King equals 41, and in Jewish gematria it equals 66. World Series equals 66. Right now, Prince Charles is 66 years old. Check this out, Truth Seeker. Prince Charles of Wales equals 212. Kansas City Royals equals 212. The Queen's birthday is the 111th day of the year. The Royals just won over the New York Mets. All these numbers tie back to the royal family. Please see my video on the World Series. The rigging is deeper than you know. There is a reason for the rigging. It has a cultural significance, such as the royal family. These numbers aren't just arbitrary, they come from places. Anyhow, back to Peyton Manning with all of his 32 connections. America equals 32 the small way. Denver equals 32. Broncos equals 32. Peyton equals 32. This year will be Super Bowl 50 hosted in San Francisco, which equals 50. San Francisco's hosting. San Francisco the big way equals 122. I think he's going to be facing Aaron Rodgers, who's from the Bay Area, born December 2nd. 12-2, a lot like 122. Peyton Manning and Pythagorean also has a connection to San Francisco as well. Denver Broncos and Levi Stadium have a match in gematria. I think this is the AFC opponent. I think they'll be facing the Packers. I think, again, it's going to be a rematch of Sunday Night Football. There's more to it, Truth Seeker. Please see all my work on Tom Brady and Deflategate. The entire story is by the numbers. It's completely laughable. Once you see it, it's just a joke. You see how we're being made fun of. Being made fun of by the numbers. On Monday Night Football earlier this year, September 28th, which is the same day as the original Monday Night Football game, it was Packers-Chiefs, which are the original teams in the first Super Bowl. The Packers won at 38-28 for a sum of 66, like the year of the first Super Bowl. I think these have all been clues throughout the season. Packers played at San Francisco on a date with 49 numerology. The 49ers are hosting this year. A lot of clues have been dropped, Truth Seeker. I think it's Packers, Broncos. Somebody yesterday asked me if I would look up anything interesting with Todd Marinovich. They thought something was up with this guy. Look at this. His name in gematria sums to 74. He was born on July 4th. He was born to play for the Los Angeles Raiders, True Seeker. He went to the NFL 2 years with the Raiders and then was out of the league. Born on July 4th, named gematria of 74, played for the Raiders. Ken Stabler was the MVP of the NFL as Raiders QB in the year 74. Raiders equals 74. Sports by the numbers. So I'm running out of time, so I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger. You're going to have to watch the next video I put out. If you didn't hear, there's this crazy story over the weekend. A man rear-ended a truck in Los Angeles, flew out his front windshield, and landed up above on the freeway overpass sign in Glendale, California. I'm going to show you how this story is a made-up hoax signifying what the Super Bowl will be. Be right back, Truth Seeker.